Welcome students to the class of Cyber Security, Unit 5, Intellectual Property Rights, which is also called as IPR. Now, intellectual property is a category of property that includes intangible creations of the human intellect, a creation of mind, some kind of design, a poetry, a music, a kind of innovation, new technology, new design, etc. etc. So it's a creation of mind and it is intangible. Intangible means something which cannot be touched, not having physical presence. It is not an object as such, rather a creation. The most well known types are copyrights, patents, and trademarks. So, what are the three IPRs? Most popular copyrights, patents, and trademarks, and there could be also other kinds of IPRs. Early precursors to some types of intellectual property existed in societies such as ancient Rome, but the modern concept of IPR is developed in England in the 17th and 18th centuries. So the concept has come from United Kingdom. The term intellectual property began to be used in the 19th century, though it was not until late 20th century that intellectual property became commonplace in the majority of the world's legal systems. And my reference is Wikipedia. The main purpose of intellectual property law is to encourage encourage a wide variety of intellectual goods. To achieve this, the law gives people and business property rights to the information and intellectual goods they create, usually for a limited period of time. So whatever has been created by the people, they enjoy the rights to those for a limited period of time, say 10 years or 20 years. This gives economic incentive to the creations and the creator because it allows people to profit from the information and intellectual goods they create to have profit. These economic incentives are expected to stimulate innovation and contribute to the technological progress of countries, which depends on the extent of protection granted to innovators. The intangible nature of intellectual property presents difficulties when compared with traditional property like land and goods. So, what are the traditional property like a piece of land or some goods, a piece of jewelry? Unlike traditional property, intellectual property is indivisible. That is, since an unlimited number of people, suppose a work of poetry or a musical tune, that can be consumed by in unlimited number of persons and intellectual good still would be not being depleted. Additionally, investment in intellectual goods suffer from problems of appropriation. Now, let us take an example. A landowner can surround their land with a robust fence and hire armed guards to protect it. But a producer of information or literature can usually do very little to stop their first buyer from replicating it and selling it at a lower price. Suppose a person reads something from any resource and he copies it and puts his or her name as an author and sells it at a much more cheaper price. So then the original creator of the work can do very little to protect this kind of a misadventure. So the society needs to create some balancing rights so that they are strong enough to encourage the creation of intellectual goods, but not so strong that they prevent the goods wide use, so that the primary focus is lost. That the creation will be there, and wide use of the creation will be there. Now the first IPR let us discuss is the patent. The Statute of Monopoly is one an act of the Parliament of England, notable as the first statutory expression. The Statute of Monopoly is the first statutory expression for English patent law. Patents evolved from latest patent issued by the monarch to grant monopolies over particular industries to skilled individuals with new techniques. Originally intended to strengthen England's economy by making it self-sufficient, was the purpose of introducing the concept of patent by the British monarch. Now, what is copyright? A copyright is a form of intellectual property law, protects original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works. So, a piece of literature, a drama, a movie, a musical, a music, some kind of art, a sculpture such as poetry, novels, movies, songs, computer software, architecture. These all could be copyrighted or could be protected by the copyright. So, origin of the copyright, this will be act, origin of the Copyright Act. The Statute of Anne, also known as the Copyright Act 1710, is an act of the Parliament of Great Britain. Again, it came from Great Britain, passed in 1710, which was the first statute to provide for copyright, regulated by the government and courts rather than by private parties. So, copyright is the legal and exclusive right to copy or permit to be copied some specific work of art. If you own the copyright on something that might not be your creation but you have owned it or you have purchased it, someone else cannot make a copy of it without your permission. Copyright usually originates with the creator of a work, and it could be traded, it could be purchased, and it could be used by some other person on an economic basis. A trademark is a type of intellectual property consisting of a recognizable sign, design, or expression which identifies products or services of a particular source from those of others. So, it's a company logo or a design which represents a particular institution, that is called a trademark. The overall purpose of it, that we often know registered trademark. So, the overall purpose of a trademark law is to prevent unfair competition by protecting the use of a symbol, word, logo, slogan, design, domain name, etc., that uniquely distinguishes the goods or services of a particular firm. So, hope the IPR concept is clear to all of you, and we have discussed patent, copyright, and trademark in this particular lecture. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.